This is a big day. We'll see how it all turns out. We have to get the final word down and concrete. Very importantly, I look forward to having the hostages come home to their parents. Everybody was unified in wanting this war to end and seeing peace in the Middle East, and we're very close to achieving that.
Hamas says it agrees to release the final 48 hostages from Gaza under their conditions. The terror group has yet to agree to surrender weapons or relinquish control of Gaza for good. It all comes as we prepare to mark 2 years since the October 7th terrorist attacks later this week. Former White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany is the host of Saturday in America, and she joins us now. Kayleigh, I'm so happy for you and your show. You're doing so great, as always.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I want to ask you about what we're seeing from Hamas in this initial reaction. So 2 big sticking points, not wanting to disarm, and then also, does Hamas have a future role in governing Gaza? How do you think President Trump works through those, and what's your initial reaction from what we're seeing from Hamas?
Yeah, so you have, I looked at the Prime Minister of Israel's statement, and then I look at Hamas's statement. And in many ways, they match the release of hostages, for example. But in reality, Hamas has agreed to, I believe, 7 of the 20 points. Israel has agreed to all 20. President Trump is the bridge maker. He is the deal maker. He is the person who has ended 7 conflicts in a year. And I do believe that this is going to happen. I know Hamas is not to be trusted, but they also know who's on the other end of who they're bargaining with. And behind Israel is President Trump, the guy who went after Fordo, the guy whose actions matches his words. So when he says, it will be the total obliteration of Gaza, whatever language he used, he'll let Israel loose. That's going to happen if Hamas doesn't agree to this. So I think they ultimately come around because President Trump's on the other end.
And President Trump praised and thanked, Egypt and Qatar and Turkey as well for working with him and sort of demanding Hamas meets the requirements of that, 20-point peace deal. Obviously not reaching all of it. But, talk about some of those inroads that he's made throughout this administration and how they're maybe paying dividends here.
That's a key point. So part of some of the architects of this plan was Jared Kushner, Tony Blair, former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And this group, especially Jared Kushner, was the person who during my tenure orchestrated all of these Middle East peace deals, 4 of them just in the final year of the Trump administration. It was historic. So those relationships that Jared built in Qatar and Saudi Arabia and elsewhere are key. They're instrumental to peace in the Middle East, as we saw at the end of 2020. They're instrumental to what's happening now. And this doesn't happen without those relationships that were built over time.
I want to get you on this as well, Kayleigh. So Cori Bush, squad Democrat, who lost re-election for being anti-Israel, announces she's running for re-election again. So it's a D+29 district, so this won't necessarily change the outcome of the general election, the political power in the House. However, it does sort of represent this friction in the Democrat Party. Walk us through that friction, and what does this represent?
Yeah, so the progressives, the squad, it was first Jamal Bowman who lost to George Latimer, a more moderate Democrat. Cori Bush was the next to fall of the progressive squad. And what's interesting, as you well know, Lisa, the progressives, the squad, are huge in the Democratic Party. AOC, she's the person pulling 1,000+ crowds, Bernie Sanders. So the Democratic Party is tethered and beholden to that radical left, but yet they so desperately need to go the way of the more moderates in the party, like Alyssa Slotkin, in order to win a national election, in order to change the House of Representatives. But I think that tethering to members like Cori Bush will ultimately be their downfall in about a year from now.
Yeah, and we're talking about Missouri's 1st congressional district here. Now we want to know what's coming up on Saturday in America.
Thank you. I'm so excited. So in just about 34 minutes, we'll have Nick Sorter. He, of course, was the conservative journalist arrested in Portland. We'll have Tom Homan. We have Todd Lyons. It's going to be a fantastic show. Tune in for that exclusive with Nick Sorter.
10 a.m. Eastern. You're not going to want to miss that. Kayleigh, it's great to see you, and I'll see you Monday on Outnumbered.
See you Monday.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.